What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. Today I am stuck at the house, but I still wanted to do some kind of video about what I'm getting ready to do this fall, some stuff that you're going to be seeing. So today is just going to be some real quick gear that I want to show you guys that I'm going to be taking out in the woods and you're going to see. And in case I don't mention it then, or you have questions about it, I can go ahead and give a little bit of an overview and give you guys some specifics on them right now, so you know what I'm carrying and what I have out there. And if you have questions, be sure to shoot me a comment. I'll link to stuff if you're interested in it, and kind of let you guys see what I'm going to be carrying. So one of the first things I'm going to show you is a really cool giveaway that I just won not too long ago off Instagram. At Oregon Restored Tools did a giveaway for this hatchet that he took and waxed and colored the handle. He included this sheath with it, which was very nice. Nice leather sheath. I didn't think it was even going to come with a sheath, and he included that as well as some wax to treat the handle and leather with. So this is pretty short. I'm guessing somewhere around maybe 11 to 13 inches overall length. It is very much so just a hatchet, but it's a really, really nice hatchet. Good size, weight to the head. It feels like it might be around £1.5 pounds, maybe a little under. But this is it. He took and put this really razor sharp edge on it. That's one of the things he does is when restoring tools like this, he'll really step up from the factory grind or the factory edge on it and make it just razor sharp. So I'm going to be taking this out in the woods on my next trip to try out. Made here in the USA. I want to say I think this is by Council Tool. I can get verification on that, but I think this is a Council Tool model. Really nice, really beautiful handle, the way he colored it and waxed it, so it's in really good condition. So that's going to be an upcoming tool that I'm going to be taking out for a smaller hatchet for trips when maybe I don't need a full-size axe, or just want to keep the load light, and all I'm going to be doing is you know, processing some very small firewood. That's going to be a really nice axe to have to take with me. The next thing I'll show you, I actually haven't used this since last fall. I got this last year, or yeah, I believe I got this at the beginning of last year. I've had this for almost 2 years now. This is the Cold Steel Trail Boss. Really budget friendly, really affordable. If you check through my videos, several videos back, I did a budget friendly axe review on this. I've done a couple different videos on it if you want to kind of get some more information on it and see it in use. I took this on my last camping trip last fall, and I actually had to process some really big pieces of wood. Like I was at a pond on some family land, and I didn't really have readily accessible firewood where I was, and my wife's grandfather brought me some really large rounds that he had cut up, and I didn't think at first I was going to be able to probably process them. This is not a splitting axe, this is not a super heavy axe, and it actually processed every bit of wood that I needed that night for the fire. I split up some really big rounds with it, and it performed amazingly. It's a 27-inch overall length, hickory handle, really nice. This one is a really straight grain, super solid handle. This is a Helco axe mask that I bought off Amazon. They don't come with a mask from Cold Steel, so I kind of did some research online, and some people had said that this medium, this is the Helco Work medium if you look it up, and it fits the Trail Boss perfectly. Just an adjustable strap. You've got multiple loops on there so you can get it to a good tightness so it doesn't slip off. But this has been a really great performing axe. Super budget friendly. If you're looking for a first time bushcraft axe, or just one that, you know, you're not gonna have to worry about really putting through its paces and holding up, and even if something did happen, you're not out of, you know, much money at all. Really great cutting edge, big beefy cutting edge on here. It's got a very wide cutting area. I think this is either 3.5 or 4 inches overall. But this is something I'm also going to be taking back out with me again this fall. This is a really, and it's not very heavy, so it's a great pack axe. You don't add a bunch of weight to your pack when you strap that on. Like I said, I've had that for almost 2 years now. I've done 2 review videos on it. I took it on a camping trip, and I haven't seen any other axe with, you know, a wood handle and that has the Bushcraft look to it, that has as many good reviews and as much for the price point that you get for it. So I'm going to be taking that out. You'll see those on some upcoming Bushcraft trips. One last thing. This is a tomahawk that I'm going to be taking with me here. Now this is a cold steel. I believe this is the Norse hawk, if I remember correctly. This actually was a gift from a friend of mine. He took and did these kind of Viking runes on it. If you can see, I believe he burned those into the handle. He darkened the handle on this one, and then he did some file work up here on the head. I like taking tomahawks with me in the woods, just to have as a defensive tool. The area I go in, I do have the potential for coyotes. I believe there's some wild boar in the area, and at least bobcat size wildcats. So having something like this is just a quick defense tool, so that if I was caught while camping or out for the day up at the Bushcraft site, I have something with me. And I just love carrying tomahawks. They're a great camp tool. You could even, if you're doing a light bushcraft camp, you could take this as your only item. You know, you could take this as your only edged item. You can process firewood with it. One cool thing about the cold steel is it has this little hex screw back here that actually you can tighten into the handle. It's not like bored into the handle. It just basically presses up and creates a pressure on the back of the handle so that your head is not sliding around at all. So it's oversized here at the top so that the head doesn't slide off the top, but an extra kind of safeguard is this hex screw back here. I just actually tightened this one up, and that way you don't get any slide on the head. But if something happened and your handle broke, you could just loosen that up, slide this off, and replace the handle. So tomahawks are incredibly multifunctional. They're great tools to have in the woods. Like I said, you could do a bushcraft trip, and I may do that. I may do a bushcraft overnight challenge where I don't take a knife, I don't take an axe, I just take a tomahawk and a fire steel. So if y'all are interested in that, shoot me a comment down below, and I'm thinking about doing that this fall. So if there's interest in it, I will go ahead and do it. Last few things, these are things you've probably seen if you've been on the channel for a little while. I like to have a good knife with me when I'm out in the woods, and I like to have a pretty large knife. I'm a fan of bowies in particular, and large camp knives all the way around. They're great if you need a chopping tool. If something happened to your axe, you have them to fall back on. So pretty much most knives you're going to see me carry out are going to be larger style knives, and a lot of times they're going to be a bowie design. So if you've been on the channel for a little while, you'll recognize this. This is the Undertaker Bowie by Condor Knife and Tool. I cannot say enough good things about this. This knife has been phenomenal since I bought it. First of all, beautiful piece of craftsmanship. It's incredibly well done. Showed up nice and sharp, beautiful polish on the blade, beautiful, I believe these are walnut handle scales with brass rivets, and just an exceptional piece of craftsmanship. It is such a nice knife. I've heard a lot of people that don't like it. I actually do like this leather sheath they include. It's maybe not the fanciest, leather sheath that you can find, but I think for a sheath included with a knife at this price, they include a pretty nice sheath. Now I will tell you, when you first get it, it's going to be incredibly tight getting the knife in and out of this sheath. They really kind of tight fit this sheath around it. Now it does help prevent any kind of slip if you don't have your retention strap on, but it does make the first few times getting the knife in and out kind of difficult. So just a heads up there. Now I've had this one for almost a year now, and I've used it, and I've put it in the sheath and taken it out several times. So it slides in and out pretty easy now. So it will loosen up with time. Another knife. This one I have not used much. This is a relatively new knife to me. I just got this late spring, early summer this year. So I have taken it out in the woods, but it's not been used as heavily as some of my other knives. This is the Ontario Knife Company's SP10 Raider Bowie. This is, if you're looking for like a really good like bug out bag or survival knife, this thing is a tank. I mean, the weight of this in the hand is just right. It's not too heavy, but you can definitely feel that it is a beefy, strong knife. No fear chopping, no fear batoning. It has carbon steel blade, so it's good and easy to maintain. Sharpening, you can sharpen it in the field. I touched it up on my ceramic rod, and I try to do that with several of my knives from time to time, just to keep that edge from getting worn out and having to do like major sharpening. But this is the SP10. Really nice rubbery grip, like very much so helps with gripping and with any potential slipping. It helps do away with that. Really nice guard. It does have some area down here. It's not really a choil, but it does have a just flat space here on the base of the blade where you can choke up, and the guard's small enough you can fit your thumb over and hold up closer up here to the blade. So if you're doing like feather sticks or fine detail work, you can do that. Comes with some lanyard, just your basic nylon sheath, 2 retention straps. It's got a plastic insert to keep the blade from cutting through the sheath or making contact with any of these metal rivets down here. It does have lashing points down here and some more up here at the top. It's got molly webbing on the back, so you can attach it to a pack. It's got the clasp right here to undo for the molly webbing. So that is a great knife, made here in the USA, up in New York. They're a fantastic company, super well known, very good reputation for building high quality knives. Two things real quick. Last knife. This is a Cold Steel GI Tonto survival knife, thermoplastic sheath included, retention strap, and it's got Velcro here where you can open the snap, slide this on your belt, and snap it shut. You don't have to undo your belt or anything to get this on and off. So I really like that about this knife, and I've actually been carrying this knife on my last several trips to the woods because of how easy it is to just, when I'm trying to carry camera gear and a backpack and all this gear, that I don't have to waste a lot of time. I can just put this on my belt and go. So again, high carbon steel blade, 2 like again plastic style handle scales, and it's got 2 screws here that hold that on, 2 on the other side. You can tighten those up, and this is just a really comfortable knife. It's got a great point up here to be able to choke up for fine detail work. The guard is actually just built in. This is, other than the handle scale, this is just all one solid piece. This is an incredible knife. Cold Steel makes a lot of great stuff. I have a few different Cold Steel products, and I love every one of them. There's still several things on their collection that I'm looking forward to getting in the future, and I've had this knife for probably about 5 years, and it's a phenomenal knife. These are great sheaths that come with it. You've got all kinds of lashing points. You know, some people don't like the thermoplastic, but I think for a survival knife, you're not having to worry about leather getting torn up or nylon getting ripped. For the most part, you've just got this hard sheath protecting your blade. Drain hole here at the bottom, which is really nice. So if you're out and it rains and water gets in there, you've got a drain hole to get the majority of that moisture out of there. And this is just a phenomenal knife for the money. Back when I first started looking at these, I think they ran around the $30 mark, and I don't think they're a whole lot higher than that now. They may be more in the 40 and up price range, but it's still an incredible price for what you get with this knife and sheath. So this will continue to go out in the woods with me as well. It's not as big as some of the others, but if I'm carrying other tools like an axe and a saw, I'm not necessarily worried all the time about having a huge knife. And that one's just big enough to me. It's more in the medium, definitely not a small blade, but it's more of a medium size. So it fits really well into a bushcraft or camp pack, a bug out bag. It's just a very versatile knife that you can do a lot with. One last thing, I guess this is probably where we'll end it, is silky folding saw. If you've watched some previous videos, you've definitely seen this. This is a sheath I bought that Silky makes. I just bought this on Amazon. It's called the saw is called the Big Boy. This is the Big Boy sheath. It's got a belt loop here on it, so you can wear this like you would put your knife sheath on. And they make incredible saws. These are some of the best saws I've ever used. I bought a few folding saws before I got to this one. Some were just cheap. I didn't really care, just to have some kind of folding saw to do some light shrub and bush work with. This, however, if you've seen my series on building like my bushcraft camp and stuff like that, these are much bigger wood processing tools. Very nice rubberized grip down here, very good grip in the hand, really nice long blade. You've got rows of teeth on here, and this just makes quick work of anything pretty much that I've ever had to work on with either getting firewood or more currently doing the bushcraft build. You know, that's taken a lot of wood, that's taken a lot of time and a lot of resources, and this has helped me cut things down to size to fit the shelter and to fit where I need it to go really well. So that's pretty much it for the tools. I will throw some links down to a lot of this stuff down in the description box below if you guys are interested. Check it out. I'm hoping to be getting out for some fall camping here very soon. I've kind of been looking forward to getting this time of year. This is my favorite time to get out and camp. It's the most comfortable. It's the best to have a fire in. So that's looking hopefully to be the next trip, is hopefully to go up to the bushcraft shelter. Just a quick update on the shelter. I'm gonna have to go back up there and do some work on a rebuild. If you've seen the last video where I did the covered porch, I didn't have a full-size shovel with me when I went up there to do that, and the tool I did have didn't let me get down into that hard ground deep enough. So the footholds were not as deep as they needed to be, and I was worried about that when I built it. And right after I built it, like that day or the next day, a came through from the hurricane that came up in the Gulf, and storm spun off of that and went through that area pretty badly and twisted most of that porch right up out of the ground, or covering right up out of the ground, pulled the posts up, pulled it into the camp. The rest of the camp is fine. I went up there, and the covering and all that stuff is stacked out of the way. Those pieces are probably 90% all still reusable. It just wasn't supported enough. It wasn't far enough down on the ground for those posts to hold. So I have a shovel that I can take up there now. Last time I was trying to grab something on my way up there, and the store I stopped by didn't really have anything, so I have a shovel now that I had in storage. I was able to go get SOG survival shovel I have that will help me and let me dig those posts much better. So I'm gonna go up there and repair that. I don't necessarily think I'll do a video on it, because it's just gonna be resetting up that porch. If you've watched the previous video, to this one, you've seen the build. So I've got to do that next if I want to get that done before camping. It really doesn't matter one way or the other for my camping trip if that's built or not. So I'll see if I get to that first or what. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you stopping by. If you have any questions about the tools or any of the items, again, I'll try to put links down below to most all of that stuff and answer your questions in the comments. So I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Chris, and take it easy.